switch some.
Okay.
All right. Well, welcome everybody. I love it when we have a little bit smaller call today. And for those of you that couldn't get on, a little bit of screwy things happening with my email reminders today for some reason. But anyway, welcome everybody to our call with our special guest is Mr. Ed Barsano, the creator and founder of GoBabyTrade, which I actually met Ed in April of 2024. So I'm going to start with a little background for myself, and then I'll introduce Ed, and we'll jump right into what we have here. Some of you are we have a couple new people, and then a few that have the auto traders. So this will be great, or that have been on calls before. We can open it up to maybe a little deeper discussion. So I'm Francine Lumiller, and my background is actually in trading. So I traded stocks for global hedge funds and mutual funds for close to 20 years and did some research sales and just was in that industry for a while. And then, long story short, dove into crypto probably 5 years or ago and created a mastermind with some friends. We built some of our portfolios, and I know there's a lot of money to be made in trading. I just didn't want to do it anymore. I did some options trading for myself for a period of time, and just takes a very special mentality. And like Ed will talk about, it's so much risk. It just can be a painful endeavor. And so I was experimenting with some bots in the crypto space and looking for something that was more hands-free, set and forget. But I'd run out of money, or they'd an error message would come up. I think I'm trading. I'm not trading. It just required still too much micromanaging for me. And then I was introduced to Ed in April, like I mentioned, of 2024. And when I joined his system, I was really amazed at it, how simple it just simplified everything. And we really is the only thing that I found that truly is, you have custody of your funds in a Coinbase or Kraken account. This is simply a software tool that connects to your own exchange account. So it's not pooled funds anywhere else. You always can see transactions in your Coinbase or Kraken account. And so when I started with that, I just was amazed. And Ed and his son who program, and they've been doing this. Well, Ed's first auto trader was created over 25 years ago now for stocks. So it has a very long track record. And then for crypto 4 years ago. So I want to just talk a little bit about Ed because I'm just honored, Ed, that you take the time to do these calls with me. I'm just going to
I
talk
live for them. It's
talk
fun.
a little bit about you'll see Ed's very passionate. He loves talking about this stuff. It's really his life's mission just to get these tools into the hands of the average person. But Ed actually started out as a programmer in the Navy. He was in the Navy for about 8 years, and when he got out of the Navy, he worked for the federal government in nuclear engineering, doing pretty remarkable stuff. He became head developer, and those guys cranked out over like 100 programs in 2 years, working 20-hour days. It was insane. And then he was at Microsoft towards the beginning. He was one of the first 350 programmers, spent 8.5 years as software engineer and moved up within the ranks to worldwide operations manager with over 300 people below him. So his responsibilities went through the roof, and he was accumulating so many stock options that he's like, why in the heck am I continuing to work? And so he was blessed to retire at the ripe old age of 39 in 1995. And like everybody, he had funds in the stock market and in technology in particular, and ended up losing 60% of his net worth in that dot-com crash. So he decided that he was going to make sure that never happened again, and that just prove that these are numbers going up and down on the screen. And that's exactly what he did. So when he created the auto trader for stocks back in 2000, he was giving them away. He was sitting in a prop houses, learning what they were doing, looking at charts all day, and figuring out what people want. He gave everybody what they wanted in that auto trading, was giving it away for years. And one of the reasons I really like GoBabyTrade too is I'm a market technician, right? I can look at charts and indicators. I had a very rules-based system myself when I was trading, but with there's still emotion, right? So what I love about the two AIs, which Ed will get into, is there's 27 technical indicators programmed into those AIs. And whenever before the auto trader itself actually buys or sells, when it meets certain parameters that we'll talk about, it'll call up the AI first, and it'll be like, okay, in the next few minutes or 20 minutes, are we moving higher? Should I wait on the sell, or are we moving lower? Should I wait on the buy? And so we can get better pricing that way too. So when I heard that, I was like, all right, I'm done. So, Ed, with that, thank you again for being here and sharing this incredible technology with all of us. Actually created some questions for you today, but is there anything you would like to just kind of start out with in your words, like why you created this and what you saw
Oh, oh,
wrong in
oh.
the markets, you know?
Well, how much time do I have? 1 hour
Right.
Well, that was a good intro. Thank you. I always love to hear about me.
Absolutely.
Um, so, boy, yeah, I've never been out of words before in my life.
Well,
Since
you talked.
you covered it so much. But yeah, I got hammered in the 2000 market crash, and I could see that that was just a scam. And I said, well, nobody wants to get robbed, right? And so I said, and I was bored also. I was already retired 5 years, sitting around doing nothing. When people die after they retire, you're thinking they died because they were old. Not true. They died because they were bored. And it didn't matter how old they were. But I didn't know that when I quit Microsoft when I was 39. I figured, well, I got enough money. I'm done with this planet, right? And I found out afterwards, I realized like, oh my God, what are you doing? You're not working. You want to drive your Jaguar into a wall, I mean, it's not fun. Anyways, so I was reborn after the 2000 market crash. And that's what I've been doing now for 26 years, just automating the market, proving that the market is nothing but numbers going up and down. And I've got thousands of clients. Even TD Ameritrade called me in 2006 and said, will you connect your auto trader to us so our clients can use it? And I'm like, why are you calling me? How do you even know me? And his answer was very profound. He said, you're real.
Yeah,
And I said, you're right, I am real. I'm not playing.
I love
I've
that.
conquered the market, and that's something that people don't realize conquering the market isn't as easy as you think because you have to undo all the misinformation that's out there. All that all our heads are full cluttered with misinformation, how to trade and everything. They're all wrong. A typical user, when he goes to make a trade manually, in his mind, that coin's going to go straight up. He's thinking, I'm buying it right now because it's going to go up. And that's where everybody's wrong because you don't know what it's going to do. There's no indicator in the world that's going to tell you that coin's going to go up. I mean, if I had that indicator, I'd be the richest person on the planet. If I knew what the coin was going to do tomorrow, you know. What the software does is it's actually building inventory to trap the market so that the market can't breathe without giving me money. I mean, it's almost criminal the way this thing works.
Mhm.
Because if a coin goes lower and you buy more, that coin isn't just down for you. It's down for everybody in the world. It's down for BlackRock, and they're sitting on billions of dollars worth of these coins. And when that coin is lower, the coin can't wiggle. It can't go up without giving me money. And all they can, and if they leave it down, then all these guys that bought up here are just getting hammered. So what are they going to do? And are you going to run? And if you try to go up, you got to pay me. And if you go lower, I'm going to buy more at a lower price. Now I've trapped you even lower. And while I'm busy trapping you at these low prices, forcing you to have to pay me on the wiggles, I'm building inventory like all these lots up here, so that anytime a coin jumps like 20 or 30%, I have all this inventory that's going to sell off. So I've got them coming and going. And if the coin starts trending higher, as I'm constant the I'm selling off inventory that I bought on the way down, but at the same time, it's wiggling while it's going higher. So I'm buying more and selling that too. So I'm double dipping on the way up. And so I've got them trapped on, if they're going lower, they got to keep paying me on the wiggles. And I'm building inventory. And if it goes higher, I got all this inventory to sell off. Some of you have already heard my examples. Like if you're running a 7-Eleven and you only have one bag of potato chips on your shelf, this is just commerce. I didn't invent commerce, all right? If you have one bag of potato chips on your shelf and a school bus full of kids pulls in, you only got one bag of chips to sell. The auto trader's mission is to build inventory, is to fill that shelf. So when a school bus pulls in, you got 20 bags of chips to sell or 50 bags of chips to sell. You can't, and at these prices, you can't own enough crypto. The opportunity before us is just unprecedented. They lowered these prices an insultingly low price. This is just criminal what they've done by lowering these prices to where they're at. And the reason they're getting away with that is because Joe Public's out of the market. Joe Public's running scared from the crypto market. They've already gotten, because they're all buying holders. So they've already gotten hammered so many times. They buy up here, they put all their money in, the coin goes down 80%. And then they're just waiting for it to go up 80% where they could be even. Whereas us, while it was going down that 80%, we've already taken 150% in profits on the wiggles while it was going down. So, I mean, we've already won the game while it's at its lowest. And then it's just off to the races. This is all just, I call this just free money. I call the whole market an insult to humanity.
Yes, you do. Hey, Ed, on the topic really quick, when you said you're real, you'd gotten that feedback from
I want to put that on my headstone when I die. Ed Barsano, he was real.
So can you clarify for people, because they're hearing AI trading everywhere. So maybe you could clarify what role AI plays in your system.
All right, let's talk about AI for a second. I've been doing AI, programming AI since 1989, since my Microsoft days. And AI is a nice bell and a whistle. I've always had it in my auto trader since 2001. I've never bragged about it. I think if you go to the website, you're not even going to see the word AI on there. I don't brag about it. There's nothing to brag about. It's a bell and a whistle. It's a nice add-on. Because even if AI says, well, I believe the coin's going to go higher now, where's the money management in that? You still have to have money management. You have to have risk management. There's a lot more to auto trading than just saying a coin's going to go higher or lower at any given time. Who cares? Unless the software's ready to buy. Say the coin drops and the software says, I want to buy more at this lower price. At that time, the software, well, here, I'll bring up my trader real fast. It's easier to explain it while you're looking at it.
Let's do the demo. That'd be great.
All right, so here's the filled orders at the bottom here. This is the filled orders here. You see here, this says added to declining position. That means it added while the price was going lower. The software said it's time to buy. And it called the AI and it said, AI, what do you think? Do you think it's going to go lower in the next 30 minutes? It can't really predict it can't predict a day in advance, but it can predict about a half hour out. All the indicators are still in place over a half hour. And because everything breaks down on the indicators over time, you can't by tomorrow throw it all away. You got to have all the settings will be different. So anyways, the environment will be different. So the AI says, no, I don't think it's going to go lower in the next 30 minutes. So then the software goes ahead and just does the buy. But you can see one here. It says added to declining positions AI. In that case, the software said, I want to buy more. And then it called AI, and AI was not over 95% confident that that coin is going to go lower in the next 30 minutes. So hold on that buy. And it did. And if I scroll down here a little further, like I figure I have it down here. Here's one where I reached a profit goal, where the software said, I want to sell this now and lock in that profit. So it's selling in one of these lots. You may have 20 of these lots, but it's selling the profitable one. And the AI didn't think it was going to go higher, so it went ahead and took it. However, in this case, the one above it, it said the software saw the profit called AI. AI said, hold on, don't take that profit yet. The coin's going to go higher within the next 30 minutes. What is AI? AI is pattern recognition. And that's why these AIs, that all these websites where they come out in the last couple of years saying, oh, well, look at us, we have AI. I don't even know what they're talking about. But there's no way, if they only came out recently, there's no way they know. They don't know what they don't know. Let's put it that way. Because there are millions of patterns that my auto trader has been learning all the way since 2001. Each auto trader writes data. This is thousands of auto traders every minute. Every minute, each auto trader is writing data to files. And the AI is training on that data. And it's getting smarter and smarter and smarter. It's seen all the patterns a million times. And it could say, well, 98% of the time, when these patterns are like this, it adds. I'm making it sound simpler than it is, but I don't want to go into the AI code, but it's phenomenal to watch the AI code running. It's like, whoa, even it blows your mind because it can add value. The way it runs, it would just destroy your brain. I mean, it's so cool. It's like watching a brain in operation. It's so cool.
Well, it's
But
millions
in
of
any
lines
case,
in the cloud, right? Millions of lines in the cloud versus the downloadable software you had that was bogging computers down back in the day.
oh yeah, well, my old software, the original version ran on your computer, and your computer couldn't handle it. You couldn't go into your email while it was running. It was so big.
Mhm.
But now all the auto traders run on my servers in a co-location center. I've got a giant cage with racks of servers, and all the auto traders are running in-house. And the auto traders, what's nice when you have it all in-house is you have all these other programs feeding the auto trader data. So the auto trader doesn't have to do any of that work. The auto trader is just looking for money. It's just saying, am I profitable, or is it time to buy more? Or is it time to sell? That's it. The auto trader doesn't have a lot to do. All the other programs that are feeding it data feeds and AI, there's and data verification and validation, and there's so much corrupt data in the market. I mean, there's so many things that new people don't have a prayer. I mean, it'd be like a 25-year-old running a foot race against a 2-year-old. They don't have a prayer. They don't even know what they don't know because they haven't been running long enough to see all the history over the last 25 years of what the market can do. Because look at the crypto market. In the last 4 years, we've been on a long-term downtrend. That's all we've been on. We've had some up days, but on a trend basis, we've been on a long-term downtrend. This auto trader has not even seen an up market in the last 4 years. But over the last 25 years, look at the stock market. I automated that too. They went from long-term downtrends to long-term uptrends. And man, everybody's making a fortune. And so the crypto market rocks. The crypto market, here's how prices work. In the stock market, data flows, data prices flow. They go up and they go down. But in the crypto market, the prices jump around. They jump up and they jump down. I mean, a coin can jump up 50% and then 5 minutes later drop back down. That's gold to an auto trader because when you jumped up 50%, think of all the inventory, each lot that I bought that I'm sitting on that it just sold off on that beautiful pop up. Anything below that price that's profitable that I bought anywhere down below it is all sells off at once. And then it goes back down. I'm like, thanks. I call it thanks for the free money. I call the whole market an insult to humanity, to be honest. But the public doesn't seem to see that. And that's the
Mhm.
biggest challenge. That for me, the software's never been the big challenge. The public has always been the challenge because
Yeah.
there's just so full of misinformation. People actually want to automate all the stuff that they've lost money on all those years. They want to automate that and then create an automatic trader that automatically loses. It's like, really? You want to automate all your losing strategies? So over the years, I've been very beneficial because I have thousands of users sending me data, feeding me data. informing me. I communicate with everyone. I've talked to so many of you, so many hours. You
Mm,
know, I learn what works and I learned what works and what doesn't work. And I
yeah.
got rid of all the stuff that doesn't work and I created just a pure money machine. I said, you know what? I'll let the AI handle the indicators. That's got 27 indicators in it, and you can't beat what it's doing. It's pattern recognition. Instead of you visually trying to look at stuff, AI actually assigns percent values to each indicator based on how they run, how they work, how accurate it is. Each indicator really is, and can come up with a number, which is really, you can't do that looking at charts because you're looking at a couple indicators. And in your mind, when you buy a coin, when most people buy a coin, they're thinking it's going to go straight up. Everything I just told you was GoBabyTrade is buying coins and they're not going straight up, but he's building inventory at the right places, at the right spots on the way down. And so we always have the market trapped. They can never wiggle even a little without giving us money. See all this? There's $49 and $31 and $9. It adds up to $368,000 total profits taken. So it's not, it's like if you were running a 7-Eleven, you can't sell $50 bags of potato chips because then you're waiting for big jumps in a coin and you're missing all the wiggles, the small wiggles. I'm not going to sit around and wait for a coin to jump up 30% when I can sell at 3% or 5% increases, buy and sell, buy and sell. And you can see all this, it looks like small money, but it's constant money. It's like running a 7-Eleven. You can't sell $50 bags of potato chips. The name of the game is sell a whole bunch of $2.99 bags.
Mm.
And you can see these here when I'm always over here pointing. This is the profits. And these here, these where they're blank, that's an open. You can go across here and see that. That one is an open. The rest of these are all closes down here.
Yeah.
So
So
and
Ed,
it's a
mhm.
constant taking. It's just like running a 7-Eleven. You put product on the shelf and you sell it, and then you refill the shelf. Again, that's just commerce, been around for thousands of years, been around for since ancient Egypt, you know, and
Yeah.
and it's just free money.
Yeah, so we'll show you guys the parameters. It's one page of parameters that are defaulted and you can switch them like what percent up or down you're going to buy or sell in the trade window. But let's first take a look at on this screen on the left where it says live trading. I know you have several auto traders that you'll share sometimes. So this one, it looks like you started in 2023,
2-7.
February 7th. And did you start with 200K in this
Yeah, I
one as
did.
well? So all your ones you've
And most of that, let me say this, the market's been crashing over the last 6 months. We've
yeah.
had major crashes, but that's good for the auto trader. You're actually building inventory. See these numbers here, 24 and
Mhm.
25? That's how many lots. That's how many lots are underwater. Like this one here's, it's down, its open inventory is down 54,000. That's how much the inventory is worth right now if I was to sell that one coin, Dogecoin. But I've taken 65,000 in profits. I've offset that drop. See, the thing is with the market, people don't realize that the whales, let's talk first about the whales, the wealthy. BlackRock, Fidelity, Vanguard, Trump with his $7 billion worth of crypto, Tom Brady with his $60 million worth of crypto. They didn't buy all that stuff at the bottom where we're at right now. They were buying it all along on the way while it was going down. They're actually all underwater. All of them. Everybody's underwater. All the buy and holders out there that all loaded up here, put all their money in, and then the coin dropped 80%. They're all underwater. They have to wait for it to go up 80% before they can break even. But we can keep taking profits to offset that drop. So in this case, this coin's down. I mean, what is Dogecoin right now? It's at nine cents. I mean, I can tell you GRT was at $1 not too long ago, 4 years ago, and now it's at 2 cents. Elk, and they got 70,000 users. They're not going anywhere. I'm not even worried at all. This is gold. They're actually in play, because what happens when I can tell you this is a good lesson for all of you. Remember this. Stop looking at your account value. Whether you're using GoBabyTrade or not, quit looking at your account value. Because that is just, it's a manipulated number, because all they have to do is, I mean, if you own a share of something and the price of that share goes down in value because the coin price went down, that's going to lower your account value. That's it. It's a fake number. And that's the only tool that the whales have to work against the public, is they can push the prices around. Why can they do that? Because they are sitting on 95% of the inventory. The public only owns about 5%. So we're sitting here playing with 5%. The whales are sitting on 95%, and they're doing whatever they want with the prices. And what they've learned is, they said, wow, all we got to do is push the prices lower and we get a double win. Number one, the public sees their account value go lower, and therefore the public sells out because they think they're losing. And then number two, the whales get to buy it at ridiculously, what I call insultingly low prices. Look at these prices. If you're ever going to get rich, this is when to get in. What do you want to do? Get in the stock market while Microsoft's at $500 a share? All the stock prices are at sky high prices, and all the cryptos are at record low prices. I'm going to tell you right now what's happening with the stock market. They're slowly funneling out of the stock market and into the crypto market. And how do you get this? What happens if a whale wants to buy? Let's just think about it logically. This is all common sense, everything I'm saying. If a whale wants to buy $30 million worth of a coin, there's got to be $30 million worth of coins being sold. How do you get the public to sell their coins? Because if a whale says, I want to buy $30 million worth of that coin, how do I buy it? There's got to be sellers at these prices. They drive the price lower, and that scares the public out, because then the public has, their friends and family say, get out, you're being made a fool of. It's not even real. These cryptos are smoke and mirrors. And then the people sell out. How many people sold out of their Bitcoin 10 years ago or 9 years ago? When they were sitting on 30 Bitcoins, and then dumped it at a loss even.
It really is a mindset shift, like a paradigm shift, like we talk about sometimes, because to move away from the open P&L, because we could have a 30% move tomorrow, which happens, and the open P&L is going to skyrocket up, and
it happens all the time.
Yeah, it happens. It does. It really does. Like, remember last February, 2024, Ed, that was, 100% in a month, and people were boom, boom, boom. Auto traders were just having these incredible.
Oh, we had a field day, man. I mean, look at that. I remember here. Let's just go to January. Right here, January the 30th, 26th. Let me go up a little more.
That we had, yeah.
And we have a lot of updates. But January 26th, Alchemy Pay went. Look, Alchemy Pay right here. 2.1 cents, almost 2.2 cents, right? It went to 5.6 cents in 5 days. And remember all that inventory I told you I'm sitting on? Well, then, boom, $2,200, $2,000, $1,700, $1,200, $634.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just free money. And everybody owns Alchemy Pay, every GoBabyTrade trader, because when I first created the trader 4 years ago, the crypto trader, a lot of people were stock traders, and they were saying, well, what are you trading? Because they didn't know what to trade. I said, well, I'm trading Alchemy Pay and the graph, GRT, and all these coins. You're looking at my trader here,
Yeah, for all
and, all these coins. And so the people everybody owned it. So when that coin popped like that, we were sending tens of thousands of orders to Coinbase and Kraken and to sell, to lock in that money. And then it came all the way back down after it went to 5.6 cents. Let me hide this. It went to under a penny. I'm like, thank you. How beautiful is that?
Yeah,
Sold all that off, took all the free money. They brought it all the way back down to under a penny, and we were loading up again on the way down. Now I've got 24 more lots again, to sell off. And when that thing pops again, we'll sell it all off. Even if it doesn't pop again, it's still gonna wiggle. you can see here, these coins, all these sells, we're constantly selling. We're
Yeah, and
constantly taking money.
I think your auto trader might be set to buy down 3% and sell up
I think,
5%. But I just want to
yeah.
say really quick to everybody that the point of this auto trader is to always be trading no matter where the price is. So in a minute we'll get to the parameters. And so there's a default setting of a price parameter window of down 75%. So you don't run out of funds. It doesn't really matter if you own a
Oh
little
yeah, you
lot up
never
here.
run out of funds because the software is doing the money management.
Yeah, but
It's
before,
making sure that it doesn't put all your money in at once. It's reserving money.
yeah.
So it's actually just putting your toe in the water when it first turns on. You're only going to own one lot. See that 24 lots, 25 lots, 36 lots? This is what I call a well-seasoned auto trader. It's got
Yeah.
a lot of inventory on the shelf, so the coins can never have a big bounce. If they ever do, we have a lot of inventory to sell. But that's why I always tell people, they act like I'm being a salesman when I tell them, I'm like, you got to just get in and let the game begin. Because every day you don't have an auto trader, you're not building inventory, which is what you need to have. And number two, you're not taking profits
Yeah.
just about every day. And every day when you're taking all this free money off the table, it's just free money every day. Like right now, some of you don't own an auto trader. Fine. Each day, you're not taking free money that they're just throwing at you. In the middle of the night, even, I don't know, 10:30 in the morning here, 11:15 in the morning, 12:20 a.m. Well, that's
Yeah.
buying.
Well,
But
just
see,
want to,
it's constantly buying and selling, and it's emotionless. It has no emotions, man. You can't fake out an auto trader.
and
It
just want to
doesn't care.
say, yeah, it doesn't care, but humans are, we're the emotional ones. But I just want to say real quick too, you guys, I didn't have my disclaimer, but we are not financial advisors. I'm not a broker anymore. This is not financial advice. This is purely educational. And Ed, as you see, is like super passionate, as he should be, because he's created something pretty cool. And we'll look at the bucket and the well real quick, Ed, but then I want to finish going over the left side of the screen with a managed profit so everybody can get a feel for the system, and then we'll look at that
Okay.
parameters page. Yeah.
So again, this one here, real fast, is I want you to understand the software and the concepts. This has been going on for thousands of years, okay? We didn't just it's the same as running a 7-Eleven or a bucket and a well. Everybody understands that if the bucket has to go all the way down to get the water and then go all the way back up and dump it out, if you do that, if it keeps doing that for the rest of your life, it's going to pump out millions or billions of gallons of water. As long as there's enough water in that water basin, it's just going to keep pumping. But it's got to go all the way to the bottom and go all the way back up to the top. But then, what if it only has to go down a little and you buy and it goes up a little and you sell? Goes down a little, goes up a little, and you sell. Hold that loser. Don't worry about it. The action's down here now. You always follow the action. Don't worry about the price. You can hold these. That's inventory. Don't worry about it because you're going to keep pumping money regardless of where that price goes. And it just keep pumping. It's just free money. And, that's the thing. We don't have to gamble. There's no gambling in here. There's no forecasting in here. I'm not guessing about anything. And if we get a big pop, all that inventory you bought that you thought was underwater, boom, you just sold it all off for profits. So it's even if it sits down here forever at the bottom, you're just going to keep pumping money for the rest of your life. And it's free money. My auto trader's running. I'm not even, I don't even look at my auto trader unless I'm doing a webinar and I bring it up to see. Otherwise, I don't even notice what it's doing. I mean, I don't even notice that it's making all this money. And, like the other day, here's my wallet. I'm going to tell you two things I do. This is how I live. Let me get my credit card out. Oh, it's under my driver's license.
Well, I
This
have
is a
told,
coin. It's my Coinbase Visa card. So So coin everywhere every time I use this in a store, I use it all the time. every day. It's every time I use it, I tell myself the card that keeps on giving because it comes right out of my account. And here's like my 30-day profits in a very slow market, mind you. Some months that's $30,000, okay? But this month, in the last 30 days, it's taken $5,200 of profits. It's like, thanks for the free money. How much do you spend when you go to the grocery store? I spend a couple $100. That's it, each week. So it's like I'm not spending thousands of dollars, and the card that keeps on giving, it's just free money. Then the
Well,
other thing is, the other day I found $1. This is crazy. This is crazy where my brain is. I'm so used to this money coming in that I don't even think about this money. It's just always there. So the other day I walked out of a store and I found this dollar. It blew right in front of me, and it's all smashed up because it got ran over like 10,000 times. See this in the parking lot, and it was like I put it in my wallet like for good luck. And I'm still more excited about this dollar than I am the free money the auto trader's throwing at me every few days. It just keeps pumping me money for free.
well, I have.
And this is more exciting because it's like if you found money on the ground every day, I'll be honest, when I found this dollar for the next few days, I was walking when I walked out of the store, I was looking down for more money. If you found money on the ground every day, you would be looking on the ground for more money. Well, that's what this auto trader does. It just keeps pumping you money, and I call it free money. It's just free.
Yeah.
The market's
Well,
free. You don't have to gamble like everybody's doing.
I have told people that I'm amazed that it's you and your son and maybe a handful of support people that manage thousands of clients. And I mean, I never have remembered maybe like one time when there was an server update or something, but you have just been, there's like no support really required. It
Well,
does.
look at
You can just not check into the auto trader, but you do have the health meter now, which is great.
the health
So,
meter is built into the auto trader. The health
yeah.
meter is telling you literally if there's any problems with your auto trader, like if you're running low on money. My health meter, it's showing everything's green.
Hmm.
So if there were any problems, they would be above the green. They'd be up here. There'd be informational ones telling you, you might want to look at this or that, or outright error. This coin
Right.
has completely run out of money. That would be an X,
Hmm.
and those would be above this. So my health meter isn't flashing or anything. I mean, if you had problems, you would have a message up here that your health meter would be on the top of your screen blinking at you. But we really don't, our support is minimal. I mean, we
Yeah.
talk to people, everybody, we answer every question every day. We don't leave anybody hanging. I mean, I spent 5 hours on the phone with 3 hours with one person and 2 hours with another one last night, just helping them because their biggest problem is logging into their Coinbase account. I mean, that's the biggest problem. They're not having problems with our auto trader. The auto trader is instant. As soon as you sign up, your auto trader will immediately start trading in paper trade mode. It's going to say enter some symbols that you want it to trade. You're going to tell it the symbols. And it's got
You
a
can set the
default button.
default tokens. Yeah.
It's got a default. Yeah, you click a button that says show me the most common coins. Boom, 3 coins pop up that a lot of people are trading that are just pumping money like crazy. So those 3 coins come in, and then the auto trader immediately starts in paper trade mode. This one's in live mode. This one says live trading, but when you first start, it's just going to say paper trading until you connect it to your Coinbase account or your Kraken account.
Yeah.
And then there's really nothing for you to do. The strategy is already set. If I go here to select currencies, you can see it's already telling me it's already divided up the money so each coin has so much money to work with. It's saying add to decliners, add to advancers is not checked. You don't need it for you guys who already own an auto trader. You don't need add to advancers checked unless you uncheck. Some people dollar cost average. Like I see some people go like this. They go, I want to trade XRP and I'm going to click on spread funds. So it borrowed money from the other coin, spread the remaining funds to that coin so it had money. and then they uncheck allow sell. So that means it's just going to accumulate. The problem is if the coin goes higher, it won't be able to add because it's adding as it's going down if you say decliners. So in that case, you need add to advancers checked. So it can add as it's going higher because you're not selling the coin. So it's, you want to add as it's going down and add as it's going up. Since we're selling the ones that are going up, we don't need to be adding to the advancer because we'll always be adding to the decliner.
Yeah, maybe if it switches more to a bull market, perhaps. But let's,
Yeah, I mean, but we've been in a bear market for 4 years. I'm not in
yeah.
any hurry. I've been telling people for months we are going to see blood in the streets, man, before this market takes off. And then all of a sudden, boom, the market started just dropping like a rock, And I'm like, hey, I've seen it before. I've seen
Yeah.
it so many times. They drive the prices as low as possible, and I can actually vouch for the behavior of the average human being. People panic when the prices go lower. And not just so Go Baby Trade users, we're not selling our positions when they go lower. We actually buy more at a lower price. But the public panics and they sell out at the bottom.
Yeah, GoBabyTrade
And
never
then
sells at a loss. I want to make sure
we
they
never
hold that
we
in
never sell
inventory.
at a loss.
There's no stop loss or anything like that. And Ed, I
You
want
don't
to,
have it.
yeah,
Change the name of a stop loss to lock in loss. Would you even use it? Because that's
right.
what you're doing. You bought it up here, it goes down here, you lock in that loss. That's not a stop loss. That's a lock-in loss. But stop loss is very good for the public because they don't know how to handle a loser. Everything I've been talking about here in this trader is I bought it here. I started buying up here. The first buy I always call the top. And then everything the auto trader is doing is based on this down here. You're losing. It's down here. It's turning all these losers into winners,
Yeah.
pumping out money. Whereas the public doesn't know how to do that. They go all in at the top, the price goes down, they're jumping out of windows because they don't know what to do, and they're just sitting there praying, oh God, please go back up. We're never praying for that. We
Mhm.
got enough things in life to pray about. We don't need to be praying that a coin's going to go higher. I don't
So,
even care if it goes higher. Go lower, be my guest. Now I got you trapped at a lower price. What do you want to do, market? You're going to run this coin out of business to steal a few $1,000 from me? Go ahead. Because if you're stealing a few $1,000 from me, you're also stealing $1 trillion from BlackRock. So how are they going to feel when this coin goes out of business and they're sitting on a bundle? Because that's what they're in right now. They're sitting on a bundle.
so Ed, there's a question in the chat, and since we're on this screen from Murray, let's just
Cool.
go ahead and address it because sometimes I definitely get this question. At what point do you consider changing an item or a currency in your GBT? So would you ever swap one of these out? Because I know you have pretty strong feelings
I
about
don't like it.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I don't like it. People do, though. People add another symbol here like this, like say I added XRP, and they'll say, stop trading this one, say XRGRT.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So let's just add another coin here for a second. I'm not saving this because the save is at the bottom, so I can make all the changes I want. I'm not going to hit that save button.
Mm-hmm.
But I can demonstrate all this. So what they do is they'll uncheck some of these and they'll say, allow it to sell if it goes higher, but don't let it buy anymore. Well, the power of the auto trader is the ability to keep pumping money at the lowest price. Just keep pumping for the rest of your life. So you never really want to turn that off. I see people doing it and I don't like it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I always, if I'm talking to somebody, I'll say, you know what? You need to turn those back on. If you want to allocate less money to the coin, go ahead. If you want to change that 21 to 20 or even lower, lower it down to 15. Now you can't lower it to lower than what you've already used though, because then you get a negative number.
Mm-hmm.
So raise it up a little. Let's just play with it a little. Say we go to 16. There, you've still got 6,000 allocated to it instead of 54,000. See, but now if I lowered that by 5%, now I'm only using 95%. So I can raise some of these other ones. I could raise each one of these up by 1%. Say I raise him to 17 and him to 25 and him to 19. Let's just do it real fast. And him to 22. So I raised each one to, 1% higher. I still got 1% left. Go ahead and give it to GRT. I love GRT. They got 70,000 users using them. They deal with the blockchain. Average guy does not know how to deal with the blockchain. Companies don't know how to deal with it. They got 70,000 companies using them. I would give them the extra percent. So there. So I lowered him down. So I'm not using as much, but I'm at least letting him continue trading because that's where the money is. The
Yeah.
auto trader's not waiting for coins to go to new highs. That's what everybody else in the world's trying to do. They're crazy. All the money is just keep pumping money. That will add up. Grocery stores don't fill their shelves with groceries and then lock the doors. They open the door so people can buy, and then they refill the shelves. So from now on, when any of you guys ever walk into a store, be like me. I'll tell you, it's an addiction. When you walk into a store, my eye quickly goes to the shelves, and I see if I'm looking for, and an empty shelf pops out, boom, like a sore thumb, man, like a beacon, boom, it lights up if there's an empty shelf. So you don't have to look hard to see an empty shelf. You got all these shelves full, and there's that one that black hole, you know? And if the owner was there, that black hole would not exist. It's when the owner's not there and the workers don't give a darn. Yeah, leave the shelves empty. You got 1,000 people walking past an empty shelf. Very bad. I've even seen end caps completely not emptied, and I'm like, whoa, man, they are throwing away thousands of dollars. Put something on that shelf, will you?
So
You know, so it's all about just commerce that's been around for thousands of years. So yeah, so to answer your question, I don't like the idea of doing that, but a lot of people do it. They'll uncheck some coins like that and they'll say, I don't want to trade these, and then they'll spread funds equally. And then they'll just maybe add another coin and then click that,
but it
spread
also,
funds
like, you don't
equally.
even recommend trading a lot of coins at. I know
You can do that.
you added one here to your basic one.
Right. I added
You
Swift
you don't say
because it was
you always say though that adding you can in fact we can go look at some different auto traders, but first I want to go to the parameter screen so everybody can see that real quick. But I just want to say here real quick that what was I gonna say?
I don't know, but you don't
Okay,
really want more than what we've learned over the years is you don't want more than 3 to 5
yes,
coins
yeah.
because if you go with 10 picture, if you're going with 3 coins, here, one, two, well, you can't do it here because if I was going with 3 coins, I would divide, if this is 4 coins, it's dividing it to 25% of your money per coin. If I took away this coin that it hasn't bought yet, because I took it away, just uncheck that. And click there. It's going to divide it up to 34% for 1 coin, 33 and 33. This one doesn't exist because there's no coin there. So you got 33% of your money on 2 of the coins and 34% on another. If you had 10 coins, you'd have only 10% of your money allocated per coin. You're slicing up your money into smaller pieces so that when a coin pops, or even when it's trading, period, you're just not, you have a lot less money to allocate to that coin as opposed to 3 to 5 coins is what you want. That's the ideal number. Some people trade with 20 coins. They're doing 5% per coin. They're making 30 cents a trade or something. It's like, lower it down, slice it up. If you're trading with like under $5,000, just put 2 coins. 10 coins, $10,000, put 3 coins. I got guys with over $1 million in multiple accounts, 1 million in each account, and they're trading with 5 coins in each, and that's it. I never, the top traders don't have more than 5 coins. They're not slicing up their money, and because a coin, if you have a lot of coins, there's another trader we have here. There's another tool we have that's called, and do you mind if I show it right now?
Yeah,
The highest trade count report.
yep, that's great. And then I do want to go to the strategy because we're almost at the top of the hour and I want to open up to questions.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Ed.
We have the highest trade count report here. Some people call this the $1 billion report. And again, I'm going to tell you, this is like, I'm going to go back to the 7-Eleven. If you were opening up a 7-Eleven for the first time, you would want to say, because you're talking to the distributor, you're going to say, show me a screen, show me the top moving items that I can sell, the things that are going to give me 1,500 sales, 1,531 sales, 1,469. Give me the big movers. Don't give me iodine and band-aids and so you're going to put band-aids in one spot on your shelf. You always have to have band-aids, but you're not going to sell a lot of them. I mean, look at this. One trade, 10 trades. These are monthlies each month. That's last January. This is last December. This is last October. And you can see they're not very, they don't, 254 trades in a year. That's not where I want to be. I don't want to be trading stuff like this. I want to be trading the top moving coins. Really, anything in the top 100 coins even, I've noticed on here. To give me at least 1,000 trades a year, Or no, it's not top 100. Here's 1,000 trades. Everything down below. So the top 42 coins, is give you at least 1,000 trades a year. And then I look for consistency, nice consistency across. Like this year, this isn't bad. You're not getting, this coin here is not giving you 2 trades or anything stupid per month. They're reasonable numbers. But if I go to the top of this report, then you start seeing crazy stuff. Look at this coin here, 80, 58, 100, 46. If I'm trading that coin, I feel confident that next month I'm going to get a number similar to one of these. I don't feel like I'm going to get 2 trades that month, okay? Because there's the history. You can see the consistency of it, of some of these coins. They just pop out at you. Look at this one, 81, 201, 260. Look at these numbers. What a gift from God. It's so easy because you already know what the pattern is. You know what the history is. You know how many of those vapes you're going to sell or how many of those candy bars you're going to sell. I mean, if it was a 7-Eleven chart, this is the stuff you're seeing.
Right.
This is what they would show you. And somebody even emailed me the 7-Eleven report that looks like this. He heard me talking about this all the time. I've never seen the report. It was just common sense that I'm not going to talk to 1,000 vendors. If I own a 7-Eleven, I'm going to be sitting with a distributor. Show me the stuff that moves the most, distributor. And I imagine he's going to give you a screen like this. Well, one guy actually emailed me that report. I don't have time to bring it up now, but I got the report, and sometimes I bring it up in these presentations. Not when the host isn't barking at me to hurry up.
Fine. Well, I want to show the top trader report too, Ed. We have and someone asking a question in the chat about an example with a lower trader amount with a lower dollar amount in the trader.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all about percent. See, this is where the education is because so many people are looking at the wrong stuff. What they don't realize is don't worry about the account value. That's just the price of the coins going up and down. And the auto trader knows how to handle that. But the problem with the report is we don't know if they're going to put more money in or take money out. So what we concentrate on is what did he start with 1 year ago? Because this is a 1-year report.
Mm-hmm.
And how much profits did he take? Well, he took $465. That's a 284% return. This one started with $5,000 and he took more than 5,000. He took 8,251. That's 162% return. Tell me you can put $5,000 into a bank and at the end of the year have them gift you $8,000 of free money.
Well, I just want to say real quick here, 2 things, Ed, is that one, it will depend. Like when you start the auto trader, it might, if it was it on the spike that we had, or was it at the lower prices? Or I mean, it's all going to depend on when people get started. And also, I want everybody to know as well that you take out all of the 6 and 7 figure accounts because you don't want people that would be in this report and take up pages and pages because you don't want people to think they have to have a lot of money to trade because you don't.
Well, that was the complaints I used to get with this report. I let the guys with the big money in and they were, they just filled the screen up, and then people were reporting to me. It's like I don't have $500,000 to trade with. So I said, let's just eliminate all those accounts, plus eliminate anyone that's doing a manual trade. And you'd be surprised how many people do manual trades. Even I did a manual trade a few months ago. So that knocks me off the report. It knocks my trader off the report because I did a manual trade. Because on October 10th, some of you remember that flash crash day. October 10th, the coins dropped 30%. And I was laughing because I'm like, this is free money if I ever saw it. So I couldn't help it. I started buying 5,000 of that coin manually. I started clicking this button over here, this add button, and I could just add, you can just say, I'm going to, add more shares to that coin, but that's a manual trade. And when you do a manual trade, that knocks you off that report. So this report, you can click on any one of them and click on the view details. Like this one here, he's only trading one coin, Zcash, and he's just pumped out, 150% return on that one coin. Here's a guy with $31,000, and he's trading one coin also, Carrot, okay? Here's a guy with $2,500, click view details, and he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 coins. I don't like that because, I mean, it just, look at this guy, 3% of his money on that one. 5% of his money on that one, 4% of his money on that one. I don't like that. I want all of them to be 18%, or more, stuff like that. Or, 20% really I just want to have a good percentage of my money on each coin.
Well, let's go over now the one page, the parameters, because people ask, about the like default parameters and how that works.
Okay.
And then if anybody has any questions, you can type in the chat or start to raise your hand and we can move into some conversation about this too.
Well, here, it's only one screen of settings, very straightforward. The biggest thing is your profit goal. These settings, by the way, when you get your auto trader, as soon as you sign up, these settings are already there. They're already set. So you don't even have to touch these settings at all. Just put in the coins, and like I said, it'll give you a default 3 coins. You can just click, give me the recommended coins or suggested coins, and those 3 coins pop up. And then just say go and watch it run in paper trade mode. Some people want to go live on the same day as soon as they get their trader. Some wait a couple days, some wait a week. But the sooner you get started, the sooner it starts building inventory and taking profits. I've had so many people, it's just so common. After 6 months, they'll sign up, and as soon as they watch it run, they go, oh my God, I should have signed up 6 months ago. What the heck? Why did I wait? I hear it all the time. Literally all the time, at least probably once every few weeks. People sign up, and I get new signups every single day. And when I talk to people, they go, oh man, I should have signed up. I heard your presentation, 5 months ago. And I waited. It's like, why wait? Let the game begin. These prices aren't going to sit as low as they're at. This is gold.
Yeah.
But anyways, the biggest things to look at here is the profit goal, 5% profit goal, and equal funds. That means every trade, no matter where the price goes, it doesn't matter. It's going to still be going for 5% profit goals, wherever it's at. And it's adding on, go down below, because it's equal funds. It's gonna put the same amount of money in every trade. And then add shares on 3% moves. And now the default is 25. 25 lots down. Picture a ladder with the steps. You're starting up here, you buy one lot. That's one step on the ladder. The rest of the ladder doesn't have any steps. If you're standing on the ground, you can't reach the top of that step. All right, but from up here, from where you bought here, you got one lot. If it buys again, you got another lot. It's 3% lower. 3% or more lower, because that says add on 3% moves. So you're adding on 3% moves times 3 times 25 lots down. is going to give you a 75% trading window. That means the coin can drop all the way down to 75%. As long as it doesn't drop 75% and it stays in that window, you're just going to keep pumping money wherever it goes. You don't even care. If it goes below that, look what it says. All funds except the profit saved will be used within that 25 lots. That means by the time a coin reaches 25 lots, you will have used up all your principal money. But by then, your save bucket, because all your profits are going into this current profits saved here on the lower left. If I click on that, it says save 100% of my money. It's putting all my profits into this bucket here. I mean, I had $300,000 in there a couple of years ago, and I took $200,000 of it out, and I bought a Range Rover. It's just like free money, and then I blew the other 100,000 just living, and I never. So there's the profit saved. But what happens is if you go down there, you can always release that money from your save bucket. I could say, if I say edit minus one, let's minus 10,000. See, it's got 11,000. If I click on that, it reduced me down to 1,600. I'm going to put that 10. Now that means the auto trader now can take that 10,000 and use it in its trading. So if a coin goes down 75%, I can release money from my save bucket and then raise this number. See, I raised this number to 50 lots.
Mm-hmm.
So now I've got enough inventory to take me all the way, enough money or enough lots down to cover me all the way to the bottom. So now I literally don't care where any of it goes.
Right.
I'm going to put that back. I'm going to put that 10,000 back though. Now I
And-
can also I don't have to put a minus. I can just add the 10,000
Now,
back
when
to
you
the
use,
save bucket.
some people ask too, when you're using your Coinbase debit card and you bought groceries or you spent $5,000 this month, you go in there and you subtract that out of your save profits bucket, or yeah.
Well, I did when I bought the Range Rover, I did deduct the 200,000 out of the
Okay.
save bucket because the account value already dropped by 200,000 because I used the money.
Yeah.
I didn't want the auto trader to also see 200,000 saved and then not use that
Yeah.
200.
Well, I know
So
you
I
have
took it out
several.
of there also. I didn't want to double take out.
Yeah, so you have several auto traders. I know that you are probably
Yeah.
dipping from. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, I mean, this is really, it's the holy grail, man. Anybody that doesn't have an auto trader, I feel bad because they're just, why not?
So are there
So
any questions from anybody? So I see we have
I like to hear questions
Sherry.
like problems. What would tell you I don't want an auto trader? I don't want a money machine. What would tell you that? I know I've heard the things like, well, if that was real, he wouldn't be sharing it with you. Well, I wouldn't know what I know if I didn't share it with everybody because they share with me. We all learned along the way. If you're sitting at home trying to trade, I mean, I had one guy a few months ago, and I pointed over there because I was sitting over there while I was talking to him on the phone. And he said he wants to create his own auto trader. I said, "Oh, well," I said, "How old are you?" He goes, 25. I said, "Okay, well, in 25 years you'll be 50." And that's how long I've been programming this auto trader. So you'll be right in 25 years, you'll be where I am today. The difference is I've got thousands of users feeding me, telling me what doesn't work.
Hmm.
Like, I
Yeah.
don't have to crash my car to know that the results of what a crash looks like because I got millions of people out there crashing their cars. I can see it on TV,
And I know
you know,
you and Steven are always back there tweaking and adjusting and I also want
and
to
making it smarter,
yeah,
making the traders smarter.
exactly. I want to say real quick too, I see Jeff Cernicki and he's a longtime user because I want to make
Jeff's
the
been
point.
around for a long time.
Yeah, I just want, and actually, Ed, I recorded. I'm going to post it on my YouTube channel from
Hey,
Alonzo,
Jeff.
who did a testimonial. But Jeff, you're welcome to unmute and share if you want. But I just want to reiterate that this is not like like the biggest complaint I think we hear, Ed, is people are like, why isn't it putting more money to work? Because it's the brainwashing of we just want to put my money in the market where it's very small. I call this like my conservative set and forget, like long-term cranking money, cranking money, like you say, Ed, like forever, as long as a trader is around. But it's not like get rich overnight or these crazy, but
Well,
it's
it is get rich overnight. The problem is it's up to the market. It's
up to the
look at these
market. Yeah.
prices. Look at minus.
You got
This
to
is
have
today's
lots to
move.
sell. You got to have lots to sell.
Well, not only that, you have to have lots to sell, but the inventory, today's move, the price, these coins are not moving.
Yeah, yeah,
They're negative. You can't ask it, you can't buy a coin up here and then watch the price go down here and then say, I want to sell it and take profit. There's no profit. You gotta, it's got to go up to sell. So it's got to, on the up wiggles, on the up days, we take a lot of profits. That's what these things are on the lower right here, where you can just see some days you have crazy up days where you're selling a lot of inventory, just all sells all day long. Some days, you're doing all these buys. It's up to the market. You can't dictate to the market. Too many people think they can boss the market around. They can tell, I demand that you go up. It's like, no, the market's going to do what it wants to do. It's like I was saying, in the grocery store, you can't sell $50 bags of potato chips. Nobody's going to pay you $50 for a bag of potato chips. You have to only sell based on what the market will allow, which is $2.99 a bag. That's why life is so short. That's why we can't live to be 200 years old. Because if you live that long, you remember the penny candy and the nickel candy bars. You can't, if you don't want to buy a $2 candy bar.
Mhm.
That's why life is so short. You don't live that long because you would go nuts in this world.
Yeah. So, Ed, we have a couple other little questions in the chat. Raymond's asking or it's Cheryl, since Bitcoin
Hi,
is
Cheryl.
low, would you add it? And that just goes like Bitcoin is low, but it's still not as volatile as some of these other altcoins, Cheryl. So I can tell you that Ed was going to pull up that report and probably tell you it's junk as far as trading goes, but
Well,
it's
the thing is, it is and it isn't because there's value in the fact that it's been at over 120,000. And right
yeah,
now it's sitting at 65,000 on the lower left. You can see that.
yep.
And but I don't believe in buy and hold. See, the guy that owns that coin, all the people that are buying holders, they bought it, they watched it go to 120 and they didn't sell, and then they watched it go all the way back down to 65. It's like, wow, you could have been trading that all the way up, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, and then all the way back down. It's like, man, you could have made so much money. You would have already doubled your money. Instead, right now you're sitting there breaking even again. Silver's the same thing, SLV in the stock market. I've got people that have been trading SLV in their stock auto traders for the last 20 years. Some people that's all they trade, one coin in the stock market or one symbol, SLV. They watched it go all the way up to what was it, over 100, and now it came all the way back down to like $70. And if they're it's like silver dollars in your drawer. You're missing all the action. It's like, man, that's dead money. You're
Well,
just
I
sitting
will.
on that silver hoping it's going to go to a new high. And then even when it goes to a new high, you don't do anything. And then it goes all the way back down again. Man, you're just throwing away free. The market's literally throwing free money at everybody, and people aren't taking it.
Yeah,
It's
so
amazing. That's the challenge. See, this is a
yeah,
therapy session for me. I get this off my chest
oh, it is.
because I just can't believe everybody doesn't see it. And I've been watching the public for 25 years. I'm like, man, they're
I
just like out of it, man. Mentally, they're out of it. And
Well,
this isn't hard math.
it's just years of thinking of things one way. We got to get out of it. So for either, so we have I'm going to address Murray's question in the chat, and then Russell raised his hand. So
Yeah.
and I just want
Let's
to say
do it.
real
I love a
quick,
good Q&A
yeah,
session.
I just want to say real quick to Cheryl, that some people might want to trade
I
Bitcoin
like Bitcoin, Cheryl.
Ethereum and just be like more conservative, right? Maybe they don't like altcoins, they don't trust them for whatever reason. You can just trade. I mean,
Yeah.
there's still volatility in Bitcoin and Ethereum, some of the larger ones. So certainly, that's a possibility. And
Can
Murray
I
was
ask
asking,
Cheryl a question first before we go on to someone else?
sure.
Just to answer her question.
Yes.
How many other coins are you trading with, Cheryl?
We're trading what the pre-selected coins.
Three. Sui, is it Sui L3 and XCN?
I don't know exactly because Greg
Right. Well, those are
usually
good
does all
coins. Those
that.
are a lot of people trade them. If you're only trading those three and you can throw Bitcoin into the mix, add BTC, but I would allow it to sell. Let it trade because it's not going to just I don't like the ones where the people dollar cost average and they uncheck the allow sell like
Okay.
on here because because then all that's doing is eating up your money. You're just adding to it, adding to the shares, and you're accumulating shares at the right price. That's better than just throwing $100 a month into the coin. And because a lot of the prices you've already owned it at those same prices. Some of these coins haven't even moved in months. So that means you already bought them at those prices. No use keep buying them at the same price. The software will make sure that it doesn't do that. That's why you'll see I already own some of these coins at these prices. That's why it hasn't even added anything since 2/9. And what is today, the 12th? So the 10th, 11th, and 12th. So for 3 days, I haven't added any coins because these prices haven't really moved. They're sitting right where they were 3 days ago, and I already bought them at those prices. I'm not, and the software's not going to buy it again. I actually like Bitcoin at this price because I think it can go to 120. That's cool,
Oh,
but I
yeah.
want to trade it. I still want to trade it.
That's a good point, Ed. Yep.
So,
I wouldn't mind adding that one. If you add it, do this. Go
okay.
here, add BTC like this. Check that box right there. Allow sell on the decliners. I mean, allow buying on decliners, adding on decliners. Don't add on advance. Well, yeah, you don't have to add on advances because you're selling it. You're gonna be allowing selling, so you don't need to allow on. And then click spread funds equally,
Mm-hmm.
and that way it'll borrow money from the other coins that you have. Actually, mine would have all these checked, and then it'll trade. I don't mind it. XRP is good. A lot of
Okay.
people added XRP. It's at an unreasonable low price.
Yep.
And XRP and Bitcoin, those are I don't normally I would say I don't like it, like
Yeah.
Francine said,
Prices
but
are so cheap.
they've already been it's already been to 120, so why not? When it was sitting
Mhm.
at when it never went above 60, I didn't like it.
Yeah, now we're going to go a lot higher than that, in my opinion, of course.
Yeah, I think we are.
So Russell, go ahead. You have a question?
Yes, I looked at your screen when you showed it earlier. What the sell number is? Is it? I see yours is set at 5%, and
Mhm.
it was set at 3 for the longest time. And we all raised it about a month ago. Are
To
you still
5.
wanting us to hold at 5?
Yeah, I like 5. And
Oh,
here's why. It's a punishment thing.
right.
They've already lowered these coins to record lows. Why should I give it back to them for 3% gains? You can now I feel like now it's our turn to push back and say, I know some people that have their profit goal set at 10%. They're saying, "Hey man, they pushed these coins all the way down over 90% down from where they were 4 years ago. I'm going to punish them now. You want to buy any of these shares back from me, you're going to give me at least 10% profit on each one." So,
Thank
but
you.
I like 5. I think 10 is a little too much. You're missing a lot of the wiggles if
Yeah.
you put it too high.
So,
Also, the profit saved bucket. My
I'd
health
leave that
leader.
at 100%.
All right. I'm trying to
Definitely.
grow the value of the account.
Yeah.
So
I'd
I'm
leave that at
putting,
100% for sure.
all right, and I'm putting new money in, uh,
Cool.
all the time also. Um,
okay.
and my trader is saying that I've run out of money to buy more positions. So,
Oh, well
so I
then,
have to go back to the other screen and increase that amount.
yeah. Shoot
Um,
me an email. Do you mind, Russ, if you shoot me an email at support@gobabytrade.com?
okay.
I can help you today. It only takes me 2 seconds to go through somebody's trader. So fast.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys are really
Because
quick.
I look up here and I see how many lots you have. Then I go to the exceptions or the edit strategy screen and I go to the bottom and I see if you've hit your max. Like if your max is 25 lots And then I
I
look up
think
here and
that's my problem.
you're already at 25 lots.
Right.
And that means it's going to stop trading that coin. We need to raise the lots and then release some of the money from the saved profits so that it has more money to work with.
Mhm.
If your health meter's telling you you've run out of money, then we need to get, you can also go to the health meter. Go to the select currency screen and just click spread funds equally. It'll borrow money from the other coins and level them all out. So then because if you're at minus on one of the coins, you could just hit spread funds equally. You could do that right now. Just click spread funds equally, and it'll go from a negative number to a positive number if the coin is negative. It'll borrow from one of the other coins. Maybe you don't have to release money from your save bucket. You might have enough money sitting right in some of these other coins that
Other
aren't
coins.
moving as much.
Mhm.
But I can look at that. It takes 2 seconds for me to
Yeah.
help you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks,
And
Ed.
then we talk for 3 hours and talk about the border and the COVID vaccine,
Oh,
and all that stuff.
you can't say that or they might not let me post the video. I got something flagged before because I said something and YouTube removed it.
I'm
Anyway,
joking. I'm
I
joking.
know,
When
I
I'm talking to people, we talk about a lot of stuff, a lot of educational stuff. We
Yeah.
all learn a lot about, I learn a lot about all different things.
So here's another question, Ed, from Austin. Out of curiosity, what is the year-to-date performance of the fund / auto trader right now? So maybe you could explain because it's a little tricky since it's always running, but you do get those the end of day
Yeah,
profit
I'm
reports.
not too worried about, you see, the problem is, you mean in my trader, the year to date? The problem you have here is
Everybody starts at a
profit,
different time. Yeah.
the profits are good. I'm not worried. Whoops, excuse me. I don't know what I just did there. The profits are fine. It's taking the profits. I'm not worried about that. But don't get confused again by the inventory going down because the prices have gone down. Some of these coins have dropped 50 and 60% in the last few months. That means they dropped like a rock. And that's driving the account value down. So when you say, I care, let me say this, I care about the profits that I'm taking because these are going to add up for the rest of my life down here. These profits are going to add up forever. You can't stop them. This column, closed positions P&L, is just going to keep going higher till you die. I have another account that's got 350,000 of profits in my closed P&L on the ACH. And its open inventory is down 150. So I have a net profit of $200,000. No, 350 minus 150.
Is that one of the ones you opened in 2021? So that's why it is.
Yeah, it's one of the first ones.
The longer.
And so
Yeah.
the longer you have your auto trader, this number here never goes down. It just keeps going up. It's like throwing marbles in a jar. Every day, throw one marble in. In the beginning, you feel like it's not moving. Watch as that jar spills over because they can't stop it. This number, open positions P&L, they can only push it lower, but then they can't keep going straight down. So every time they go up, this negative number gets, goes, less negative. So they're at the point now where they've already pushed these things too low. Like there's no support. GRT this coin can literally pop to 9 cents tomorrow because there's no resistance above it. It's at a record low. And the company is phenomenal. That's the beauty of all these coins. You can't, there's no negative news on these coins. These are all, the world is going crypto and nobody's going to stop it. See, the problem is, here's the problem. You, an average person, we want to just make money, right? That's what your goal is here. But the wealthy, that's not their goal. Their goal is they want to make all the money. That's the problem. That's why they're driving these coins lower and lower and lower, trying to get the little guy out. Like I said, if Fidelity wants to buy $30 million worth of a coin, they got to get people to sell $30 million worth of that coin. How do you get people to sell? Drive the price lower. It scares them out. Plus, then you got the benefit of buying it. They get to buy it at a lower price, which is amazing. So
Thanks,
So
Ed.
yeah, I'm not worried about it. When you say year to date stuff, you're putting times on stuff. Why? Unless you're running out, you're going to go out and buy a Ferrari tomorrow. This account, let me say this. This account reached a high of a mil three, and it's at 548,000. So it's down 800,000 from its high, right? You think I'm worried in the least? In literally, not in the least, because I've got all this inventory, 24 lots, 25, 36, 30, and 28. I got the market. I got all that inventory up here. I own it from the top to the bottom, and the coin price is sitting all the way down here at the bottom. And every time they try to wiggle, I keep selling that one off. Buy, sell, buy, sell. So, or that one will go, and maybe it'll go a little higher, and then that one will go. Or maybe it'll pop, and all four of these will go. But I still got all these up here higher. So I've always got the market trapped. They're going to keep giving me money till I die. This is what I call a well-seasoned auto trader. It's worth its weight in gold. And it takes a long time to accumulate that much negative inventory, all those lots. That doesn't happen overnight. So when you get started, you're only going to have one lot. That's why I can't get it over. I'm not a salesman, but I'm like anybody. You need to get started because you don't even own any inventory. And how long is it going to take before you have a well-seasoned auto trader? I feel bad when you just sign up and you only buy one lot,
Yeah.
but it's reserving the rest of the money for when things go lower. Anybody can make money if it just goes straight up. You don't even need an auto trader for that. Just jump in and buy and pray that it goes up. When it goes down is when the auto trader takes over.
Right.
This is where it's going to kill it.
And it'll kill
And
it.
it's always going down. Let me say that. Even if it goes higher,
Yeah.
you say,
We're buying
well, what if it goes up? Well, even while it's going up, it's wiggling. So
Yeah.
you're always taking profits. But accumulating inventory happens when it gets all the way up here, say, and then it starts to slide down, and then you start accumulating that inventory because then you got them trapped. You got them by the whats. And there's nothing they can do to stop you. And I always feel like this is criminal what I'm doing because the longer you run this auto trader, the more valuable you see that it is. And
Yeah.
then you're going to start doing crazy stuff like mortgaging your house. I even put a video out on the website that said don't mortgage your house because people were doing it. Once you see the value of the auto trader, you're going to realize it's a numbers game. The more money you have, I mean, 100% of a million is different than 100% of 1,000.
Yeah.
And if you can get 1 million into that account and watch it double, that's cool.
I'm curious if Jeff is in a place where he can unmute and share how long he's been using the auto trader and maybe a couple thoughts. If not, that's okay, Jeffrey. Don't want to put you on the spot.
Come
And
on, Jeff, tell us, talk to us.
the other thing is I want to let everybody know I am posting because someone private messaged me a link in the chat for a $1,000 discount for a 3-year subscription. It's typically $4,499 for 3 years. But with a discount, brings it down to $34.99. So it comes to about $100 a month. But that's easy to,
What is the link?
It's here at GoBabyTrade /impact earnings. I just posted it.
Oh,
So
right there like that.
yeah, so
If you
you
put
guys
that
can
in,
poke around on the website and you can reach out to me. I have a Go Baby Trade WhatsApp community. If you're just kicking tires, you're welcome to pop in there and see what other people are saying and ask your questions. And I do a community call on the off weeks. We don't have that. Like next Friday, I'll have a call just to answer questions for people that have been on before and, take a little deeper dive. So that's always fun. Yeah, but I think I don't see Jeff unmuting. So does anybody else have any other questions for me at
anything
all?
that scares
Unmute.
you.
Yeah. Or what you're seeing, what you're doing, what's
Oh,
your
wait, who is that?
nobody, I'm just suggesting. Yeah. I
Ed,
think go ahead,
it's
Russell.
Russell. Hi. I've always had the philosophy as the value of these coins is going down. I could see my account value going down. That's because the prices of the individual coins has gone lower recently.
Right. It's just standard,
If I
straight up.
wanted to put more money in the way I would as I was trading stock, when the stock prices drop, the stock just went on sale, time to buy more. can I bring that knowledge forward into the crypto trader as well? And now that the prices of the 4 or 5 coins that I have in my account, is it time to put more money in? Because I'll be purchasing more. My lot size will grow with the more money I have, and I'll be purchasing them at a lower price.
Right. And more money doesn't mean more trades. It just, I mean, the guy with $1 million doesn't have an advantage over a guy with $1,000 other than he has more money to invest per trade. He's not getting more trades.
Right.
Yeah.
When he
Greater
takes his
dollar value.
5% profit
Right.
of
He's just
a
got that much
million,
more
it's a much
profit.
bigger number than the guy who takes it for 1,000. No, I
Right.
understand the principle.
Right. So is when you say is now a good time, I always felt like I'm all in personally. I'm all in because I believe in my software. I've been running it for 25 years. I already know it works. I know it's just going to keep pumping me free money forever. This money is not a joke. I mean, this
No?
money is, I mean, you can't, you, I'm going to click this.
Also,
Go to my trader.
yeah, I want to hear from Austin
This is
too.
real money. That's actual physical cash that the auto trader took. The money it took on each of these coins is real. That's real money. Do what you want with it. The auto trader's job is to make you money. How you spend it is on you. That's why it puts all the profits into the save bucket.
I
Yeah.
think every stockbroker in the world has told me he answers the question from his clients, when's a good time to buy? His standard answer, when you have the money. So I guess if I have it, now's the time again. So I
Well,
guess
always
that
just
holds
because
true.
the auto trader's not using it. It's not going to use it all up. You know,
Right.
it's just dividing it all up
Right.
anyways.
Yeah.
Well, that's part of the beauty of this is the money management of it. I mean,
Yeah, for
that's the
sure.
part that
The money
is
management.
fantastic.
Yeah, you don't have to touch it or anything, but yeah, I think it's a great idea, you know, to load up, to get more money in while these coins are at these insultingly low prices.
It's
And
pretty.
this is how the rich get richer, baby. You're talking about ACH was 12 cents 4 years ago. It's sitting at under a penny.
Mhm.
And then that thing went all the way to 6 cents, like I said last January last year, and then came back down to 2 cents. Then it went all the way up again and then came back down. I mean, this is just unbelievable. It just keeps going, you know, and it's just going to keep pumping money. I'm not worried about those losers at the top. It's like the that bucket in the well here. I'm not worried about inventory up here. If the action is down here, hold those. Don't worry about them. And you know, don't even worry about those.
They'll have
Just
their
keep
day.
pumping money down here. Just stay
Yeah.
down here. Just keep pumping money forever. Wherever it goes, just keep pumping money. It's just free
So,
money. The problem with the public is they want to buy it now and have it go straight up. That's no strategy. That's called gambling.
mhm. Yeah, for sure. So, Anna, I just want to ask Austin too, because I know he's been on a call before and he has a background in trading and he works for Uphold. So, Austin, if you're in a place where you can unmute, if you want to share any questions, concerns, thoughts that you have since you've been on before, that'd be awesome. If not, don't worry about it. I won't put you on the spot, but feel free. Go ahead.
Yeah. No worries. I was tuning in for about half of it. I had a client call halfway through.
No.
Though
Yeah,
it
I
interests me.
noticed that.
I come from I still work on Uphold's institutional desk, so like we do spot trading with clients. We're not advisors. Clients trade on their own discretion. Um, when it comes to questions, I guess um, I have a few. I'll try to keep it like
No,
short
that's
though.
cool.
Yeah. One is like. Um, how many at what point? So like understanding we've been in a semi-bear market, at least altcoins outside of Bitcoin for the last couple
That's
of
more than
years
a
now.
semi-bear market. We've been in a serious bear market.
We have. It's weird though.
This
We
bear
were like in a
market is
Bitcoin
bigger.
bull. Yeah, we're in
This
like a
bear
Bitcoin.
market is bigger than the 1929 crash that people were jumping out of windows over.
Right. Yeah, with far less liquidity, but yes, the drawdowns have been massive. So I guess the question is like at what percentage does the auto trader start focusing on like let's take you had a asset in there, let's just do XYZ. Let's say it's at a 60% drawdown and over the next 3 months it draws down an additional 40%. At what point when you're so far from like the actual like profit on the entire position, does it start reallocating to other like assets that are showing more relative strength? So I guess like the easy question there is like, what's the max drawdown? Because that's a very important thing to me and a lot of the clients I work with, without it just being a martingale where you continue to add to a losing position before you
Well,
start focusing on
Martindale's
other
different.
assets.
Yeah, you're doubling your bid all the way down. That's
Right.
doubling up. This is still just constantly trading. There is no point because you've allocated this much money, or I've allocated 158,000. I've got, you saw on the main screen, it already has, where am I at here? It's got $62,000 worth of inventory right now. So, and it's got 47,000 available right now to spend. It'll just keep trading. It'll divide that up so it's trading all the way to the bottom with that. So I don't have a point where I have to stop trading it. There is no, I don't have to stop. I don't have to say, well, it's down too much. Some people feel like a coin has gone down enough, and even though the strategy says I've got this much money to work with, they, in the middle of the strategy, they changed the strategy by saying, well, I don't want to buy that anymore. I'm like, wait a minute. You just changed your strategy in the middle. The auto trader thought it had this money to work with all the way down to the bottom, and then you just cut it off halfway. It's like you can't do that with water. You can't tell it, I don't want to go all the way down and get the water. I want to stop halfway and go back up. It's like, no, you won't pump any more water. But as long as you just keep pumping, I don't have that rule that you have. I don't have a time limit or anything like that, or a percentage drop. You've already told it the percentage drop. You already told it in the strategy that I'm willing to go down to 100%. I'm covered. Now, if you feel that you don't want it to go more than down, if you don't want to go down more than, say, 40% drop, then you can lower the number of lots in the beginning. You should set your strategy to what your heart can handle, I should say. It's some people feel like, they want to say, I don't want to trade this thing down more than, 36%. Fine, then set the strategy that in the beginning. But it'll still allocate the funds and the funds that you've told it to go down that far if you have that fear factor. I don't have that fear. I mean, there's nowhere they can push these coins, especially because I already know these are great companies. These are multi-million dollar companies. Like I said, GRT does 2 billion hits a day. I mean, I'm a programmer and I don't program, blockchain code to write to the blockchain and retrieve and generate reports from the blockchain and all. 70,000 companies use GRT for that dirty task. I don't want to do it. I'm busy. I don't write medical software either. You know what I mean? You pick your trade and that's what you do. Very few people do blockchain work. And if you want to put something on that blockchain, you're going to use GRT's functions.
Yeah, fair enough. No, I thank you for the answer. So like
I
with
hope that helped.
TLDRs, it'll continue to DCA down depending on how you have
Yeah.
strategy customized. I guess last question. So like there's a few assets that have been like super heavily traded on our OTC desk. Like one is Hyperliquid. Like how do you guys look about adding newer listed assets that have been trading in strength
All
opposed to
right.
some of the legacy tokens?
All right.
I started trading 2018, 2019 as well.
No, I love it. Here. What is the symbol that you mentioned?
Hype, HYPE. It's actually right now weirdly enough, it's the most profitable company in the world per head count. It's kind of
All right.
insane.
I go by this report. I want number one, I can only trade coins that Coinbase or Kraken will allow.
Okay.
So I'm not connected to Uphold.
Oh no,
Okay.
this is on Coinbase and Kraken too. So, but it was
But
just an
they're not
example.
allowing. All right. There's two things that limited on this report. Number one is they have to allow the trade to trade through the API. And the other thing is it has to be on here at least a year. So
Mm, that's
because
where it probably comes into play. I
that's
think it's
probably
only
what's
been a few
limiting it.
months.
Yeah, that's what's wrong. This says previous year's close. This is
Mhm.
9 months close, 6 months, three
Fair enough.
months.
So Austin
So
could
that's
still
what's
trade it.
causing that.
He could still trade it if he wanted to.
Manually, maybe it is. Oh,
But he can't put it in the auto trader, or can he type it in as a manual selection if it's on Coinbase?
yeah, interesting. Yeah, this isn't all the coins I thought this was all the coins we can trade, but no, I guess this isn't all the trades. This is just the coins that have been around for a year. Whereas the other ones, yeah, it's probably available in here.
It might be in
Go
that.
baby
There's an
trade.
interesting report for those of you that want to stick around, Ed, the one that talks about where we can look at volatility too, that one report that shows all the tokens on
All
Kraken
right,
and
here.
Coinbase.
We can go here under the menu. You always go to the menu in Go Baby Trade.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Go to the menu and go to exchange symbols. This shows you what symbols are available.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, we're gonna do it right now.
Let's check her
There
out.
they are. So we say, all right, Coinbase. I'm gonna say order it by symbol name and go down. And you said H. Here it is. Hype.
Yep, hype. There you go.
There it
I
is.
guess another one is
And you're
Tau.
right. It's kicking ass.
Yeah, it's
11.84% on average. That's moves. That's a big mover.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, this thing's
It's
been
not in that's see, I learned from talking to people because that does make sense. The problem you have there is, let me go back. Let's resort that list real fast. Let's go sort it by daily average move percent.
Yeah, I like to look
And
at that. Mhm.
and you got some coins moving 100%, 89%, 72%. The big movers are going to be on the top left here. So that one's not only the one of the movers, there are other ones that are killing it also. Just moving a lot. And there's hype.
But some of those at the very top, Ed, might be like meme coins or things that just got released that
Yeah.
may not, that may be
I'm
going
afraid
Trio.
of these coins. Some people
Trio,
make
Trio
good
is a
money
beast.
and some get hammered.
Yeah,
Trio.
Tree is a beast. It's Perpetual's Dex. We don't have it either on Uphold, but that thing's been moving like crazy. I know a lot of the developers came from TradFi and started building that out. But no, thank you. And can you remind me where I can look up this section again?
Under the menu, are you
Yep.
in Go Baby Trade already?
Yep.
Oh, all right. Then right here under the menu.
Okay.
Highest trade
Exchange symbols.
no. Oh yeah, exchange symbols,
Awesome.
right.
Thank you.
Oh, I didn't
You're
realize you
welcome.
bought the auto trader, Austin. I didn't show you. You must have got it somewhere direct or something. But that's great. So yeah, this is in your menu.
Cool.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here, but we keep it this isn't a gambling system. It's really not a gambling system. The market's been going down, they've been torturing people, but we just keep pumping money, and that's the name of the game. Just keep pumping money and watch when this market turns. Remember, in the last 4 years we've been on a long-term downtrend. The crypto market's not going to stay like that. Watch when this market turns to an uptrend, literally an uptrend for a year. Oh my God, are we going to make some money? Because we're going to sell off all that inventory we bought on the way down that we're still sitting on. And while that's going on, we're going to be buying and selling more while it's wiggling as it's going up and down on the way up. So we're going to be double dipping.
Yeah.
And I've already seen the power of what the auto trader will do. From April of 21, when I automated the crypto market, from April to October of 21, we had that straight up market. And man, we were killing it, man. I didn't have this account. I have another account. I was up 200% in that 6 months. That's how fast things move when the market's really going up. And that's when I feel like that's when the big boys decided they wanted in. That's when we got the crypto winter of October of 21. And from then on, they've been sliding things lower and lower and lower. But we saw the power of what happens when things are going up. And we're going to see that again. And only this time we're ready for it. Man, I'm going to make $50 million. I already know that. I've already calculated it. So and I got them trapped, and they can take their time. I don't care how long you want to take another year, 2 years, go ahead. But we're gonna get that market move up. And like I said, the big boys, BlackRock and all those guys, they've been buying on the way down the whole time. They're all underwater. Every buy and holder sitting out there is underwater right now. So everybody's out there dead. They're all dying. And the little guy's just slowly selling off his inventory because he's getting restless. And I'm like, you can't scare me out. And you know why you can't scare me out? Because you keep pumping me money. And now, if I'm a buy and holder, they don't have this advantage where they're getting money pumped to them constantly. So they're just getting zero while they're watching these coins go lower and lower and lower. So they're dying. They don't have any advantage to hang around. In our case, it's like, you're going to keep giving me money anyways. I don't care. Whenever you want to go up, go up. I'll wait. I'm in no rush. And more you want to go lower, I'm just going to keep accumulating more shares and selling more off at these ridiculous prices. This is beautiful.
Yep, yep, love it, Ed. And great.
But nothing's moving right now. We're not getting a move. The market's not moving. My Swift right there is down 4.47%. So it's almost getting ready to buy more, but it even tells you here, it says the price has got to go to 0.002598. See it right here? But the current price is 0.0033850. So it's got to drop. It's telling me when it's going to buy more even. If it drops to there, it'll buy more. And as far as if it goes, I'm only down 1.72% on my last buy, so it's not the end of the world. And it's telling me if it goes to 0.00411, that's my target sell price. So for taking profit. And it's only at 3820. So if it goes from 3820 to 4111, I'll take profit. So it's already letting me know there's no secrets here. This isn't a black box. Like, go to any other bot out there, and I don't want to call myself a bot. This is millions of lines of code. But you go to any bot out there and try to talk to the CEO of the company or the creator, he's not going to give you all this information because they're out there blowing smoke. They don't have AI. They're lying about that, and they're lying about everything their trader does. One guy, it was interesting, on Facebook. He had he started popping up on my Facebook, some trader. And he sounded good the way he was talking. I'm like, wow, this guy sounds pretty good, you know? But then one day he said, I'm going to show you how my trader works. And he brought up Notepad, and then he showed us how he would be doing his buys and sells. And when I saw that, I said, oh my God, he's going to lose everybody's money. I'm out of here. I blocked him. I don't want to see your posts anymore. I don't want to see that stuff. Oh my God. You got to be careful, man. But I show you intimately what's going on. You can see it. There's no secret here.
Well, then you also can see all your transactions in your Coinbase account or your Kraken account. It's all right there. This is what we're looking at right here, what Ed shows us. This is like the interface. This isn't the actual trader that's in the cloud with, like Ed said, millions of lines of code and the AI connected. This is just our interface. And then we can go to our Coinbase account, right, and see the transactions.
Yeah, you can see it all there. This is showing you what your auto trader is doing, but the actual auto trader is running on my servers, and it's running like the ever-ready bunny rabbit, man. 24 hours a day. It's just flying. Each person has their own auto trader, their own executable, and it's flying.
Ed, I loved what Austin posted in the chat. Be greedy when others are fearful. Be fearful when others are greedy. And volatility equals opportunity. So 100%.
Oh, who wrote that?
Austin.
Warren Buffett.
Oh, thank you.
Warren Buffett. Yeah.
Austin, Warren Buffett, Sigworth.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, hey, Austin, you ought to tell, number one, since you're at Uphold, maybe you ought to talk to your compliance department and explain to them that GoBabyTrade never touches people's money. I don't have access to your funds. I don't think they know that. They're telling some people, because some people have Uphold accounts. I'm going to throw that in here right now. And they're trying to move money from Uphold to Coinbase so they could trade. And Coinbase is telling them that, no, you know, we don't know who GoBabyTrade is. I'm like, wait, they're putting their money in Coinbase. It has nothing to do with GoBabyTrade.
Ed, do you mean to say Uphold is telling them that or Coinbase?
Yeah, Uphold is
Uphold is
telling them that.
Coinbase.
Coinbase is fine. Uphold's stopping the trade, stopping the money from going from Uphold to Coinbase. So tell
Yeah,
them
I
that
can
Cool.
try.
GoBabyTrade.
Unfortunately, I work on just Uphold's institutional desk, so I don't
Oh,
work
I
with any
see.
of the compliance. I just work as a trader and researcher on the
Yeah.
institutional side,
Mhm.
which has a completely different compliance, legal, and KYB flow.
Yeah.
Um, so
Oh, all
unfortunately, I
right.
don't know
Well,
if I
I'll
can
let
help
them.
in
I'm
that
going to send
regard.
them an email when I get a chance. I've been busy lately. Because I'm always adding improvements, to the software.
Yeah, no,
And it,
which yeah makes me think too. It'd be great to see what APIs. I'm curious if you guys use Fix or REST, to see if we can even provide, tighter pricing on the institutional side for your guys' clients. But that's a completely different story. We can keep that offline.
well,
Now, I wish I could help on the
if
Uphold
Uphold
compliance
wants me
side.
to connect to their API, I'll do that, but they have to, if they ask for it, I'll do it.
Mhm. Cool. Thanks, Ed. Yeah, Uphold's a great exchange. So, um, anything else, Austin, or anybody else you want to throw in before we leave?
I think that's it for me. I appreciate
All
it.
right.
It's been a while since
Yeah.
I've tuned
Cool.
in.
And
Yeah,
where's
Yep.
Jeffrey? Jeffrey's not around.
he's muted. Yep.
All
I
right.
saw him early in the call, but yeah, so thanks so much everybody for joining, and Ed, as always, really value your time here. It means a lot to us. So
It's almost 2 hours, so that's pretty good. And
yeah,
don't forget to drink your smart water.
right. That's great. All right, everybody, have an amazing weekend. And yeah, I'll be posting the recording on my YouTube channel, which is Impact Earnings TV. You can join my WhatsApp community if you'd like. And you can message me on WhatsApp, and that's in my YouTube description where this video will be posted. So yeah, and the link. So look forward to seeing you guys next time. Look forward to seeing you, Ed. And we'll
Thank
chat
Thank
soon.
you
you.
so much, Francine. I appreciate it. Go Navy, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Go Navy. Bye, guys.